Welcome to On the Fence, the show that's about helping you decide whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on the biggest and possibly best releases. Nick.
Hans.
Today, Nick, the Fence has some anger issues.
Okay.
Because we are looking at Bethesda's / Avalanche's
/ ids
latest open world shooter of sorts, Rage 2.
Yes. Rage 2.
Or as I like to call it,
This one.
Doom Watered Down.
This one. Yes, Hans. Rage 2.
So Nick, while we are loading in here, why don't you give me a brief, what is... Got that one.
What?
I forgot about that bitch.
Oh, sweet. What?
You got Cult of Death God
Awesome.
mission and Mutant Monster Truck skin.
Amazing.
I forgot about that one doing Sludge Angels. Nick, what is Rage 2?
Rage 2, Hans, is an open world first person shooter. Stop me if you've heard it before.
Yeah, it's it has been done. But Nick, you're not wrong. You know, there's a lot of open world first person shooters. What does this do to set itself apart?
So, Rage 2 is the sequel to Rage
Yes,
from, God knows how many years ago at this point,
about 4 or 5.
which was also an open world first person shooter game.
Yep.
And that one had its issues. Everyone kind of said it was a cool shooter, a very good shooter, but lacked some pizzazz, for lack of a better term. Hans, they've pizzazzed it
Have they, Nick?
to an extent. So,
how much pizzazz are we talking?
I think there's a fair bit of pizzazz. A piz... Maybe not the full pizzazz, but a piz...
They just came out and pizzed all over.
Yes. So, it's still kind of post-apocalyptic. It is still the dregs of society trying to reform. But they have kind of spiced it up a little bit. There is, like, neon colors. There is funky bandits.
Quirky characters.
Yes, and all in all, I think it is kind of cool.
Yeah, so you didn't play the original Rage.
Correct.
I did. There is, I mean, when we talked about it, I think it was the first time we saw this was,
That's a different person.
yep, was E3, was this announced, yeah?
Yes, this was announced a while back, I believe.
Yeah. So when we first saw that, we were kind of like, oh man, this looks like there's a lot more character to it, and it'll be a big improvement upon the second one. And there is definitely more character to this than the first one.
Yes.
But the question is whether there is enough character to this.
So I am hit and miss on this at the minute. I'm about, I think, 8 to 10 hours in. Oh, Jesus, too far. And I think there is some cool moments of character, but I think from what I remember seeing of the first one and from what I've seen people playing of the first one, it was really good at, like, meticulous details. Like, every conversation in that game was, like, hand animated.
Yep.
And it showed because, like, everyone did actually really fucking natural hand motions and stuff while you were talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously in trying to add a bit of character and a bit more flair to this one, they have lost some of that. So I feel like... So what I'm about to do here is go meet one of the contacts. So within the game, you start as kind of the Lone Ranger, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
All the Rangers are wiped out and you take on the mantle as the last Ranger. And you're tasked with kind of one of the associates of the Rangers to gather some people who were part of this Project Dagger that would help rid the wasteland of The
Authority.
Authority, yes. I couldn't remember.
Who
I
are
had the Institute stuck on my head, but then I remembered that's Fallout.
Yeah, so the Authority are the big bads in this game,
Yeah,
led
so
by General Cross.
Yes. And essentially, I have, as you can see here, I have completed one of them.
Yep.
Thought I completed one. Apparently haven't here. That's weird. But I have completed this on my actual playthrough. Don't know why it's not showing up as completed here. And I'm now on my way of meeting this second guy.
Mhm.
So, this will show off kind of what I think is the cool parts of the character of the world, where you do kind of have these one-on-one conversations with some people, and they are actually really well animated.
Yeah.
And in comparison to, as you saw at the start there, me just chatting to some random guy who is just Joe Blogs number 187.
Yeah, with randomized names.
Yeah. So, as much as, yeah, I said the character was a bit iffy, I think this is where the game shines. I think the combat in this game is fucking top-notch.
Oh yeah, I would say it's on par with Doom.
Yes, and that's exactly, because it is, id kind of handled how, like, the first-person shooting and all works in the game, while Avalanche kind of handled the other bits, like the story,
The world and
and
stuff
all
like that, yeah.
But as far as I'm aware, id handled all the, like, this is how this plays, because id did the first Rage game, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it did, yep. Because that was
Someone blew him up.
it was a similar thing in the first one where the combat was actually really, really good. It just needed a bit more character. But yeah, like I think I love the combat in this. It's fast paced, it's fun. You're rewarded more so for kind of getting out there and killing people rather than hiding behind cover.
There's a bit of a, I'll get more into the actual, like, combat mechanics, because I think after this bit there's a longer combat encounter than just these kind of groups of enemies.
Yeah. So what do you think of the story so far?
For lack of a better term, like, it's kind of just a paint by numbers story. Like, there's nothing mind-blowing about it, there's nothing egregiously bad about it.
See, I was thinking about this earlier, so obviously I'm playing this as well. The story, to me, is enough to kind of keep me involved in it. So, like, put it this way, so in Rage 1, I can't remember anything about Rage 1 story at all. Whereas in this, I generally do remember a good couple of things, and some of the story missions are actually really fun. And this is one of those handcrafted animation scenes you're talking about next.
So, like, from what I remember is Rage 1 was essentially any conversation you had with someone was one of these. And it feels like they've stripped it back, and I think it's kind of hurt the game a little bit, because I think a lot of these characters and a lot of the story beats are very forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it does seem very paint by numbers, and it is just a story there to kind of say, oh yeah, we have a story, as little as there may be of it.
I don't know, like, so, like, you haven't really got to one of the stories yet, but one of them is for the second one, the Wellspring one, pretty much that you work with the mayor, and then there is someone trying to get in on the mayorship, and so you have to go and fight them. But it's actually really good, because it's actually cool, because you have to, like, become famous to get into, to meet this guy. And then you think you have the upper hand, it turns out he was on you the whole time, and then that mission, the story mission, plays out from there. And I actually really, really enjoyed it, so I do feel like the story missions are actually really well crafted in this. Definitely more so than in the previous game. Do you think... So here's the thing, is there going to be some twist that the mutant is actually the Doctor or something?
As if I was around.
I don't know.
Because the mutant actually talks.
Yeah.
When he talks.
Destroyed everything I ever knew.
Or is it like that they are conjoined?
I honestly don't know. I'm assuming there is some form of neural link.
I was always hoping
It's really weird.
Yes.
Also, the wee robot on the shoulder is also weird. He's just a weird dude.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they characterize some of the people in this very well, but other ones are quite boring. Like,
A new kind of
the first guy, whose name I can't remember.
The Marshal.
guns.
Yeah, Bishop, is that his name?
No, his name's Marshall.
Oh, was it? I thought his Marshall was his title.
No, he's
Like,
actually
he's
called
kind of
Marshall.
just like a grizzled vet, whereas this dude is actually very creepy. And,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's weird.
He mentioned lapdog scientist Dr.
But yes, he'll. So essentially, these three people each have like their own part to play in Project Dagger.
Yes.
So the first guy, he was tasked with like giving you a way through their security systems, and I think this guy is tasked with helping you like not to have your nanotrites like not be corrupted by the authority. What is nanotrites? I hear you ask, Hans.
Nick, what is nanotrites?
I'll wait till this conversation's over. 'Cause
Right, okay,
I'm
so
not
you
sure if I
can't-
can open the.
You jumped the gun on me a bit
I
there,
don't
Nick,
open the
so-
menu.
Also, just I believe, and I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure all three of the previous characters, of the main kind of characters, are actually from the previous game.
Well, I think the Wellspring person is the daughter of the guy, your main contact from the first game. The guy that John Goodman played.
Yeah. But they are pretty much like I'm pretty sure he definitely is, to be honest. Because I remember the first game's kind of you join like a militia.
That since I was a kid.
Kind of a militia against the authority, like you are a part of a rebel gang almost. So it is, so yeah.
If Eco 15 was to be forced down, I could tap into the processing power of that.
He really likes that hand.
Think of it. To siphon that brute computer.
Oh, it's so fucking gross.
My poor old laboratory.
You talking about the animations?
He does
I-
wear a diaper.
Yeah. You talking about the animations? I do love how the enemies are animated. Overall, it was another thing in the first game. So the muties, which is one of the enemy arcs, are awesome. The way that they kind of move, so like they'll obviously dash towards you and stuff. But if they're near a wall, they'll scurry up the wall and like kind of move raggedly, so it's harder to hit them. But not only is it harder to hit them, it's just makes them look awesome.
Yeah. And like it's not like some of them will just like kick off the wall as well, which I think
Yeah.
actually looks really cool.
More zombie games need to implement that sort of like behavior from them.
Yes. So here is issue 1. Well, probably my personal biggest issue with Rage 2. There's a shit ton of systems in this game, and they all have their own like currencies. They all have their own like way of leveling up, and it's a fucking lot to keep track of. So I have each of these nanotrites abilities. So you've got some that are like active abilities. You've got some that are like, all right, grav jump, so I can double jump. You've got some that are just basic boosts that are like, all right, take less damage. So not only can I upgrade them, their level, I can also, they all each have their own set of perks, which use a level up, a nanotrite booster to level up. Then each of your weapons has levels, and within each of those, they have their own perks that you have to use a certain thing to level up with. All the projects that you get for helping people, they have project points that need leveled up, and they unlock their different tiers via different means. Your vehicles have their own currency to level up with, and it's a fucking lot to keep track of. Like, it's almost like it's, and also all your weapons you can upgrade with schematics. It's a lot of stuff.
That doesn't bother me though, because to me, if that wasn't in this, then I feel like it would get very samey towards the end of it.
It's not that I don't think they should be in it. I think it's the fact that there is so much. So half the time, like, I'm like, alright, I really want to level up. I use my assault rifle a lot, and I really want to level it up. But, 1, I don't have the currency for it, and 2, there is no surefire way to get that currency. You're just hoping it drops from one of the boxes. Like, so there's no way to say, alright, I know this mission will definitely give me a weapon mod upgrade.
But then you can go and buy them from vendors.
But again, like, yes, but they all have limited supplies of them. So you are forced to get, obviously, ones you find in the world. And it's not, I think, yes, it's cool that there's a lot of stuff to upgrade. Oh, Jesus Christ! There's a lot of stuff to upgrade. I think there is maybe just at times there is a lot to realize and a lot to figure out that could be simplified a bit.
To me,
Like, I'm not saying completely rip it out, but I'm saying like have one type of point that gives you any upgrade.
see, to me, it was kind of the one that kind of slightly bothers me is just it's the fluorite thing. It just the fact that it is used for both your weapons and your abilities is a bit much for me. I would rather have just the specific upgrades, so like your weapon mod upgrades and your ability upgrades. I'd rather just have those and take out the fluorite stuff, because I feel like having to buy the skill and then having to use something else to upgrade it seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
Just have me need one thing or one currency to up. Wow, that was a good shot by them.
Approaching the Eden Space Center.
So this is the other, I would say, big issue that I have and that I think a lot of people have had with Rage 2 is that I drove from what, let's say, a third of the way across the map, like the whole course of the map from there to there. Didn't really encounter anything at all. I drove past one or two things that I've completed, but all in, like, there was no random encounters. There was just one or two guys standing on the road, and I think it's now kind of become an unfortunate staple of a lot of Avalanche games that their open worlds just seem big and empty, and I think this one is kind of no different, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So Avalanche, like, I suppose it's kind of a weird thing, because for me it maybe feels like the open world is just kind of an excuse to have car combat. And don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoy the car combat. It's actually very, very good, and it's really entertaining, and the explosions and stuff look spectacular. But yeah, I feel like there could have been a better way to incorporate it than just having an empty open world.
Yeah.
Like, have fixed driving sections or something, you know?
And, like, it's kind of the thing that, like, yes, this combat is amazing, and I'll probably reinforce this point whenever I get to the wrap-up section. But Doom was really cool because it was very tightly designed levels.
Yeah.
When you take that out, and it's just you going from combat counter to combat counter with a lot of dead time in between, this combat isn't, like, enough to drag a game through.
Made it to the Space Center.
Yeah, and that's nothing to take away from the combat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just a case of how, like, even if you play the greatest game in the world over and over and over again, it's still the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What I would say, though, is that, you know, because I was thinking about this earlier, you know the way that Batman's hand-to-hand combat kind of became the general go-to engine, almost?
Yeah.
How awesome would it be if this was just the go-to first-person shooter?
Oh yeah, I would love for first-person shooters to kind of start going back towards the Doom style.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll go through some of the combat stuff. So you have the wing stick, which is back from the first game. You have this overdrive, which essentially slows down time, and all your guns get some form of alternate fire.
Yeah.
So for the assault rifle, it does a lot more damage. Like, it burns through armor a lot quicker.
Yeah.
The, like, I want to say the shotgun becomes some mad fucking, like, magma gun.
Yeah, it's like a real gun with like
Yeah.
Oh wow, he fucked you up. You also get regen as well on your health.
Yeah. So the other gun that I've picked up is this one, which I don't know if you have, Hans.
I don't.
So you tag enemies and then you blow them up.
Jesus. Right, okay.
It's essentially remote detonating, like, fire bombs.
I take it then that can also like spread, like it'll causes them like
Yep. So there's a
explosive
small
damage.
like explosion when it hits them. So whenever you unlock whenever you activate that in overdrive mode, you just fire the already exploded ones.
Yeah. Sorry, just one of the cool things is I do like how the cursor changes when it's over an armored enemy to yellow.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way
the sound of that.
it's a good way for you to not take your eye off what you're doing, to make you kind of go like, is that an armored enemy? And it's also a good way to show that there's armor on them without displaying a health bar. They were just trying to dance, Nick, and you went and just shot
I'm pretty sure
them
they
in
were
the-
fighting each other.
Were they? I thought they were
Yeah.
dancing.
No, I'm pretty sure they're like sparring.
Have you shown off your smash ability yet?
Smash ability?
The
The shatter?
yeah.
No, because I've never really used it, but... T. No. Well,
F, Nick, it's F.
There we go. See, I never use it because it's so difficult. So, that is my other complaint.
Yeah,
Because
that's why I had you
Yeah.
do it.
So, I think in another case of there is maybe too much here, like too many systems at play.
That's not the issue.
Well, it's
It's not for that.
kind of is because like if there wasn't as much going on, it wouldn't need that many controls. Some of the button combinations and prompts on the keyboard and mouse are kind of awkward. So to do that, that shatter ability that Hans pointed out, I need to hold control and then hit F. So, but in the same time, I also want to probably still not be standing still. I want to be still moving around and aiming. So that's a lot of buttons and a lot of things to kind of keep track of. And it's kind of led to me not using any of like that shatter ability or the dash that's also there.
See,
So like,
I completely disagree with. This is the one thing I properly disagree with you on. So, I understand that yes, it's a first-person shooter, and some people are going to want to play it on a keyboard and mouse. But to me, the fact that this game has drive, this is supposed to be played on a gamepad, and I play it on the gamepad, and I have absolutely no issues.
Damn it. Go
That-
on.
Good job, Nick. Like I've had absolutely no issues. So on the gamepad, all you have to do is hold down the L bumper and then hit one of the face buttons, and that's it. Your ability activates. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand some people aren't going to want to do that, but I'm sure there would be a way to probably fix your keyboard binding so that it is less awkward. So that's it. Like, I know we kind of disagree on a couple of things here, but I think for a lot of them you are right, or you have a point, but I strongly disagree with you on this one. I think the power ability is just it is what it is, and I feel like this game was probably designed for, there's a guy on your right, for gamepad, because I've had zero issues on the gamepad.
Man, this combat's real fun.
It's so fun.
But it does just make me think, man, I should just play Doom again.
Well, Doom Eternal is coming soonish. Oh, hello.
Oh, I missed. I love that railgun shot that just blasts them away.
Joe, I just in terms, okay, we spoke about animation before. I'm not sure if you've ever noticed, but if you ever use your shatter ability on an enemy close enough that they hit the wall, have you noticed they do the whole splat onto the side and peel off? Did he just kill his own dude?
Yeah, I believe so.
They are not smart people.
Nope.
The animations of this game are just lovely. Like
Oh, yeah.
from the way that like the
The enemy's Gib, essentially.
for that, and like, you know, the way that like enemy, like they, how the goons, these guys, this enemy arc, baseball bat grenades at you and stuff like that. It's just so much fun. It just makes it look awesome.
Oh, I've wasted this overdrive because I have to fucking reload this gun.
You really are. There's a shitload of grenades. I like that, like how much, like the way she wound up there with her baseball bat to hit you was great. I do love whenever a goon tries to do the baseball thing. If you shoot them during the middle of their
like
animation,
the grenade just lands at their feet.
yeah, it's great. So Nick, is there anything else you want to show us before
I
we
kind
let
of just
you?
want to get to the next story beat because it's kind of the first. Well, for me, well, not the first boss fight, but it was definitely one of the cooler fights in the game. Mm-hmm. So I'll get up to that, and then we'll probably let that play out while we do the wrap up.
Okay, dope.
Made it, Doc.
Oh no. That tried to slide up the stairs.
How you, obviously there's a couple types of enemies. Do you think there's a good variety to them that they feel different enough?
Kinda. Like, I think at the end of the day, you don't actually have, well, there's not that many options at your disposal that they need dozens of archetypes that need, like, oh, this guy can only be hurt by a shotgun and shit like that, because that stuff doesn't really work in first-person shooters a lot.
Yeah.
But I think they are visually different enough that it's alright, but I don't think they are that different to fight against.
I
think each enemy type has, like, their archetypes. Like, you have the Shroud has, like, the people that go invisible.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's that much variance in them.
To me, I think it's more is less. Like, I know there's not that much variance in them, but they are different enough. Like, so for example, you've got the Goons, right? Goons are kind of the standard one. Agreed? They are just what they are. They throw grenades at you and they shoot at you.
Go down here if I jump like that.
But then you also have the mutants, which are more zombie-like, so you're going to take a shotgun approach to them more times than not. Then you've got the, I can't remember what they're called, but they're the big giant things. Have you faced any of them yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, chances are, they're big, they're giant, you're going to want to use explosives and heavy weapons on them. So I feel like more is less, you know, yes, there's not that many different types, but there is a strategy, or I think you do approach most of them differently. The only two that are don't feel too different for me would be the Shroud and the Goons. They do still kind of feel very, well, they're just people with guns and stuff.
Yeah.
You maybe use a bit more crowd control with the invisible guys, but other than that, I don't see too much of a difference. But like, it is more or less. There's not like, you know, it's not like the Division 2, where each arch group of enemy has then different types inside it, but yet somehow they all still feel the same. You know, I feel like in these ones they do kind of they do feel different enough. I actually haven't faced any Authority yet, I don't think, other than the kind of opening section.
So, there's gonna be a big guy out here when these doors open, so be prepared for that.
How big is big?
You'll see. I'm not gonna stand here, so it's a bigger reveal.
Doc said, Authority mutants.
Let's go!
Alright, so as Nick fights this guy, we're going to cut away here, and Nick's going to give us his opinions on, and I'll probably give mine as well, on Rage 2. Nick, if I was on the fence about Rage 2, what would you say to me?
I like Rage 2. I don't think Rage 2 is a great game. I think it's perfectly enjoyable. But I would struggle to kind of recommend it to someone at full price. And I don't say that about a lot of games like that. I'm very much a firm believer, if you like a game, you should probably get it at full price. But it's hard to justify when I feel like everything it does, other games do a lot better. Like, if you really like the combat, play Doom. If you really like the open world vehicular combat, I think Borderlands is better. But I think, like, I really like it. It's just, it doesn't exceed in one particular area. It does everything well, just not well enough to warrant a game, for lack of a better phrase. I think I got my point across.
Sure, kind of. Nick, do you have a question to ask me, since I too...
If I were on the fence about Rage 2, what would you say to me?
I'm going to be probably more positive about it than you, so I am actually really enjoying Rage 2. I would say its combat is up there with Doom 100%, and I think the combat is actually really enjoyable. Because the things that are in the other things in this aren't bad, you know, like the open world, it's not bad, it's just a bit empty. And the story, it's not bad, it's just a bit meh. But then again, I played the original though, so I can see the improvements. And in terms of this being a sequel, it is actually a good sequel in terms that it takes the previous stuff and it does improve upon it. So I would say I would recommend Rage 2. I think in a time where we've kind of got not much else going on, it's really enjoyable. And if you like a good shooter, the shooting enough, I think, will probably get you through a majority of the game, if not all of it. But yes, so that is Rage 2, currently available on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Ranging from 50 to 55 pounds, I think is the highest I've seen this at.
I mean, I got it. It's 40 on Steam.
No, really?
Yep.
Huh, well, 40 to 55 pounds. The console version is 55 pounds.
No, well, definitely cheaper. This is because this is bucking the trend of recent releases that it actually is cheaper on Steam, like things used to be.
I mean, if you want to get it legally, you can get it for 26 pounds.
God damn it.
But we do not endorse that thing here.
No.
Unless it's really cheap, and that's really cheap. No, we don't endorse that thing here. Nick, thank you very much for raging out with me.
No problem.